So what about when your instinct as a person or as a survivor, somebody from the city that gotta make a living, gotta make a buck, comes and it comes to a point of discussion or argument between what your instinct is telling you to do versus what your happiness is telling you to approach.
So like that's a big thing for me, right? So like what my instinct is telling me to approach things as, right? So I'm very enthusiastic, right? And if something brings the passion in me, I don't have any barriers to show my enthusiasm for things, situations, or people. And one of the biggest things that like, we see as people in this world, right, is that if you show enthusiasm, people take it as like maybe you might be hypocritical or might be showing a falsehood, or that you're trying to like show enthusiasm to them because you're trying to get something from them, right? And it's like, for me, one of the biggest things that has like always been like a barrier for me is that I forget that even though people don't know me within whatever moment that like we're meeting in space and time, right? They don't know that like I'm being honest, and if I'm showing you enthusiasm and I'm showing you an engagement because like you've said something or you've shown me something that like really sparked like a sense of my excitement and my spirit and my soul, right? Then I can kind of like, sort of like put myself in a space of empathy for like what you're trying to communicate to me, right? I forget that people don't know you from that moment. So if you show them a genuine enthusiasm with honest intent, they might take it as you being maybe like a shammer or somebody that's trying to get something from them, and that's why you're showing them this enthusiasm. And that's always been a bummer for me because it's like I don't always like want to look at a situation as like, well, you don't know me, but I'm not judging you, and I'm showing you an honest space of intent, and I'm trusting that you would do the same back for me. But that's one of the things that I've always seen happen in life, which is like, enthusiasm, people don't want to see you enthusiastic, even over stuff that like, you're communicating to them that they've shared with you. Like if you show enthusiasm for just living life, right? People don't want to see that. If you could show up to a job that your passions are enlivened by, right? But everybody around you hates that job and they don't even want to be there. They hate you for cultivating a sense of enthusiasm for life. And they ask you, why are you so happy about being at this job? Well, because it's inspired my passions, right? If your passions aren't inspired by it, or if you find yourself in a place that you don't want to be in, you can't get mad at somebody else for being happy for being in whatever space and time that you guys have to share. So it's like either you dumb your enthusiasm down and make yourself feel like a fucking hater and be like, oh, I hate being here, and oh, ha, ha, ha. Or you continue to like be happy, whistle, show like a sense of excitement about being there. And the more you do that, the more people hate on you, because they can't translate that into them doing the same for themselves, which is what? To create a space of like, feeling like, I could be settled in the fact that like I might not like what I'm doing right now, but I'm happy that I can cultivate a sense of like, calm inside, right? A sense of like acceptance, right? If you accept things in whatever space of moment to moment time that you experience in life, whether it's good or bad, or whether it's something that you want to be doing or not, or whether it's something that has your passions or not, acceptance brings happiness, right? Because you're accepting the space for what it is, and you're happy to be moving in through that space, whether for the good or for the bad. And that's one of the biggest things that I've always felt has been like one of like the sad parts of like me seeing the world, which is like, why is it that you being enthusiastic and you wanting to whistle at work, why is that a bad thing? Why is like, you being happy to being with one person, right, one girl, and being in a monogamous relationship, why is it bad that people like need to feel that they have to like maybe pick at you for like being in a relationship, right? And like cultivating a relationship and saying, well, the modern day world, it's stupid for you to be in one monogamous relationship. That's dumb. But a monogamous relationship that you can cultivate with somebody that you guys would want to both be in shouldn't be given an evil eye just because other people have had bad situations of, negative scenarios with relationships that they want to now throw on you, and they want you to be as jaded as they are, and they want you to what? To lack faith. They want you to lack faith. Enthusiasm is about having faith that whatever the moment presents itself, whether good or bad, is a moment that you can have faith can transcend into more. And people don't want to do the work to transcend the momentary into more, into like a bigger sense of self, right? People don't want to do the work to look inside themselves and see what's wrong that makes them like look at the world in a way that doesn't have faith or have the space to see the better of beyond that moment, right? And you know, that's one of the things that like kind of always throws me off about like the world. So like whenever I've had certain successes in my life, I've thrown away those successes because they're meaningless. Because when I look at the successes that I've had,